What else are we talking about? Let's talk about the real criminals, the big fish. Yeah, so MSNBC ain't on nothing right now. But anyways, I wanted to go into this clip that I got from Fox News. And it's real amazing. They're interviewing this lady. I forgot who the lady is. But and another guy. And they're talking about the spy center that's being built in Utah. 1 million square foot spy center. You know, to get your emails, listen to you, listen to us like they're probably doing right now. And they're just wondering, you know, maybe we're just paranoid. Those of us that don't like it. Maybe we just don't understand. We got to give up our rights for security. So let's see. I want to go ahead and play that clip for a moment.
Sounds like Vegas.
Fox News, back to you.
All right, 33 years ago. Thanks very much, Robert. Let's go over to the couch now, and Brian.
All right, as we've been telling you all here on Fox and Friends, the National Security Agency, better known as the NSA, is in the process of building a massive $2 billion data center over in Utah. Some say the center is just another government building, but to others it appears the data center is actually a spy center ready to intrude on U.S. citizens. So what should we believe? James Bamford is here with us. He's the author of The Shadow Factory and the ultra-secret NSA, From 9/11 to the Eavesdropping of America. And Stephanie Hessler is here, is an adjunct professor at the Manhattan Institute and a former constitutional lawyer for the Senate Judiciary Committee. Welcome to both of you. James, you have a problem with this?
Well, I have a problem with the secrecy that's involved in it. I don't really have a problem with NSA. I've written 3 books on it. One book, they had a book signing for me at NSA. What I have a problem with is building a data center that's 1 million square feet that we don't really know what's going in it. And this is an agency that just spent years illegally spying on Americans.
You think were you doing things in violation of the Constitution, Stephanie?
I don't think they were doing things in violation of the Constitution. In this conflict, it's very important to gather intelligence, but we have to strike the right balance between keeping our security safe and keeping our privacy rights.
And the ability of this NSA, the cutting-edge technology that allows them potentially to go in, look into every American's home, does that bother you?
Well, under the FISA law,
She didn't answer the question. Of course she didn't.
specifically protects U.S. citizens. It requires a warrant.
No, the FISA law does not protect U.S. citizens. The Constitution protects U.S. citizens. So get it straight.
To target U.S. citizens, and it's really based on trying to get foreign terrorists overseas. Mm-hmm. And I think that as long as the government is complying with FISA, we don't really have to worry about First Amendment violations.
Is there any evidence the government is not complying with FISA?
Well, one of the people I interviewed was Bill Benny. He was one of the senior officials at NSA. He was the person who actually designed the entire eavesdropping operation around the world, including automating that whole system. And he left because he didn't like the way the NSA was eavesdropping on American citizens. And he told me right near NSA that we're this close from a turnkey totalitarian society. He's the guy who designed the system, and he was there for almost 40 years.
And guess what happens, though, if there is another attack like 9/11 and there's a bunch of terrorists complying with
Here comes the fear. Here comes the fear.
Each other, conspiring with each other to kill Americans. If we had the potential to eavesdrop and penetrate, and we didn't do that because we were concerned about the Constitution, where's the blame go?
It goes on the people that created the terrorists. Why do they want to kill us in the first place? Why do people want to come bomb us? That ain't normal. It ain't normal for someone to want to do that. You know, it's so ridiculous. Oh, we got to do this because what's going to happen? I mean, every parent ain't good, so what are you going to do? You're going to hire a police officer to watch every parent, how they treat their kids, so we can protect the kids? I mean, you can't do it, man. It's not. You can't make this world a complete, safe world, free from harm. It's just that's the price for freedom. But all of this spying just makes it worse. It's all just scaring people. Well, what happens if we have this? What happens if that happens? Let's see what this airhead chick got to say else.
Right. Well, exactly. And that's why it's trying to strike the right balance. And we have to realize that we have not had another attack since September 11th. And this is an amazing accomplishment because our intelligence agents have really done a terrific job at protecting us. They're out there every day trying to protect our national security and protect our safety.
Does it concern you at all that potentially you could sell some of the data that they get from everyday Americans to learn about, from whether it's for a consumer something or to get background on somebody? If they're spying on Americans in order to keep Americans safe, would that bother you?
Well, If they were doing it without a warrant, that would clearly violate the Constitution. If they're doing it with a warrant, that is in compliance with the Constitution.
And James, the FISA law was written in the 70s, right?
78.
78. So can something written in 1978 really work now?
Well, certainly it can work now.
The Constitution was written when? And that can work now.
Now it does work now. They still have the FISA law. What they did was just do the amendments on it. The problem with it was the Bush administration bypassed the FISA law. It violated the FISA law. And that's why they had to grant immunity to the telecom companies that cooperated. They wouldn't grant immunity if they didn't do anything wrong.
All right. Listen.
Exactly. That was the heat I believe Obama was facing when he was running the campaign in it, because he said he wasn't going to sign or wasn't going to vote, I believe, for the FISA, and he did. To spy on Americans. So it's a joke. This lady here. Let me see if she said anything else.
It's a debate that we're going to have to continue to have because we don't know everything that's going to be inside there. James Bamford, author of The Shadow Factory, and Stephanie.
Of course we don't. And they're not going to tell us everything that's going on in Utah, middle of nowhere, listening to everybody, checking out everybody. They say Big Brother's watching us. Well, I say we're watching them. That's what we got to do. We got to turn it around on them. Our eyes is on them. Came across this other article as well. Russia Today came out today. Drones to soar over U.S. and Canada sooner than thought. Let's see what's going on here. Non-military agencies have been gearing up to get unmanned drones in the sky across America, and now it looks like those controversial aircraft will soon be heading north as well. Not only are surveillance drones expected to soar in droves across American airspace in the not-so-distant future, but now it has been confirmed that authorities in Canada have successfully followed through with test flights of the unmanned aircraft for their own use. So yes, Canada, join the club, join the oppression. I mean, join the club that's getting spied on and watched. Because, you know, people in Canada are standing up too. A lot of Ron Paul supporters in Canada too. Let's see here. It has been revealed in recent months that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has been operating an arsenal of similar unmanned surveillance crafts to keep close watch on America's border with Mexico. And let's see here. While Canada is only just getting ready to put drones in its airspace, the EFF has learned through a Freedom of Information Act request that the U.S. has already granted dozens of small-time agencies and institutions approval to work with unmanned crafts. Yeah, no approval by the American people. Constitution doesn't approve that. Let's see here. In addition to already established permission for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to send drones into America's airspace, the EFF learned in recent days that over 50 other institutions ranging from police departments to colleges have been authorized to use drones by the Federal Aviation Administration. Among those given permission to pursue drone operations include local law enforcement agencies in Arlington, Texas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Miami, Florida, and as well as universities across the country in states such as Colorado, Connecticut, and North Dakota. It's getting crazy, y'all. I mean, before you know it, they're not going to need any troops. They're going to be the 1% all behind a button, and they're all going to be controlling robots, and they're just going to be flying drones everywhere trying to shoot and bomb everybody. I don't get it. I don't understand it. How much power, how much greed do these people need? Anyways, we're coming up to the end of the show. I appreciate it if you guys check me out. Remember, I come on in the mornings as well, 10 a.m. till noon Eastern Time, and then at 3 p.m. Eastern Time every day, Monday through Friday. As soon as we get these phone lines back up, I will be getting some more explosive interviews with you. If you haven't already, join Watch the Vote 2012 on Facebook, LA Liberty HQ on Facebook. Check out hiddenfourthbranch.com so we can combat voter fraud. Again, that's hiddenfourthbranch.com. And, we got some people out here in California, if you're here running for office, Jenny Warman, Christopher David running for Congress, and we have Rick Williams running for Senate. Also in Missouri, we have Jason Green, so you guys check those people out. We got to get more and more Ron Paul supporters in office so we can change everywhere, change locally, statewide, nationally. All right, so again, I'm Paco, your host. Check me out on Facebook, Paco Elijah, YouTube, Paco757. This is Occupy the Media. I'm out.